So, Bridge, have you been on our Twitter recently? I couldn't even ask that.
We have a Twitter? Okay.
I figured you hadn't been on there, and that's okay in this case because we had a very random but delightful surprise today on Twitter.
Ooh, delightful.
Somebody was really excited about a tweet that we made from July.
Wow.
They liked the tweet and they retweeted.
Wow.
So all their fans or listeners, all their followers, Jesus Christ, Katie, can see. I think this is a normal person. Yeah, so it was a Three Ninjas tweet.
Oh my god.
And I was like, oh boy, someone's a Three Ninjas fan. What a day. Let's go check out their page. And don't worry, because I don't know if they're just a fan or if this was like the maker of the movie, but their whole Twitter is just Three Ninjas. Like, that's it.
Holy cow.
That's it.
Please let this be Tum Tum as an adult.
Oh my god,
running
how amazing would that be?
That would be so amazing.
All their bio says is, love Three Ninjas, Rocky, Cole, and Tum Tum. And then their banner is Colt, which is okay.
God. Maybe, okay, now I'm thinking it's Grandpa that's still running it.
Oh my god, Grandpa. Grandpa would definitely figure out Twitter before everyone else. Yeah, that makes sense. Also, there was a meme on there that was really amazing, and I'm going to show it to you because I want to get your reaction. Ready?
Okay.
So listeners, because you guys can't see it, it says, kids today will never know that Rocky loves Emily. It's just a picture of Rocky and Emily.
Stupid.
God. They just retweet all the Three Ninjas jokes and galore, and I was getting lost on the page because I was like, this goes on and on. Who knew? Oh my god, and now we're on there, so...
Oh, I feel honored.
Thank you to that Twitter follower. Also, I followed them back, so we're gonna enjoy Three Ninjas forever.
What's their name? Should we say their name?
Oh, it's Ryoko Takashi. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong.
Okay.
But we love you! And we're following you, so keep it going.
Wow. Love it.
Hashtag Rocky loves Emily.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
What's up?
Are y'all slamming? That's not the correct context, but,
Yo, yo.
Holla, 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 holla. That's my favorite.
What is your braid style?
Oh, no. The hair. There were butterfly clips. Don't think we didn't notice.
Ooh, Kate, who are we?
Oh.
Who are we? What are we doing?
Why do we have butterfly clips in the club? Let me tell you. So, listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And follow your dreams.
Ooh.
It's not as hard as it may seem. Something.
Get the
Julia. Yeah.
Oh my god, Kate, what is our movie?
Oh, our movie is the 2001 Save the Last Dance.
Ooh! The memories.
Oh my god.
The music. The outfits.
The
acting.
This is an MTV movie, too, which I would have never remembered.
Would have never remembered. The person who wrote this is Dwayne Adler, who went on to write all of the Step Up movies.
Well, is Dwayne a dancer? Because there's a theme.
I assume so.
Okay.
And then directed by Thomas Carter, who did a ton of movies. One of them, I think, was one of the Batman movies.
Ooh. Oh, that's cool.
Is that true?
Are you spreading lies on our our podcast?
I know, I'm making this up. Oh, no, he did not.
Oh.
He did Coach Carter, Swing Kids, Metro.
Wow.
I feel like there was some sort of Batman thing I read, so whatever.
Okay.
But, okay, I really want you to do the synopsis, but I'd like to, I want to create, like, what the movie should be synopsis.
Oh.
So there's, like, the what you read, right, of how someone describes it.
Yes.
And then after we watch it, 20 years later, what I think the synopsis should be.
Okay, so,
So can I give you what I think it should be?
Oh, I was like, yeah, what are the directions? Now I'm lost. Yes. Tell me.
So get out your pen, number 2 pencil and paper.
Scantron, oh god.
So, okay, the description, because I think it's important to contrast. And
wait, and I read this description last time, and they did not include the word dance, so I hope that's where you're going.
Well, no, this one was different.
Oh,
this
okay.
was on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
A teen tries to fit in at an inner-city Chicago high school after tragedy derails her dream of a dance career. Julia Stiles stars. End of sentence.
Okay.
What I think this should be is Kerry Washington crushes this dance movie and uplifts Julia Stiles, who can't dance, and all she does is prop her up because of, I don't know, she's white. And Sean Patrick Thomas equally props Julia Stiles up, who can dance, but the only one that makes it into dance school and wins in the end is Julia Stiles. What?
Damn.
I'm sorry. But Kerry Washington is...
She's great.
a treat. Like, my memory just was like, whoa. Like, because I became a Scandal fan. Are you a Scandal fan?
No, I don't like those rom-com. I know it's not rom-com. It's like dram-rom, whatever.
It's really drama.
Yeah.
Olivia Pope. The white coats. Oh my god.
Okay.
Anyways. Okay, so now I want you to do the real synopsis. I had to get that out of the way.
All right. Okay.
You can do it. Just put your back into it.
Put
you
your
can
back
do it.
to it. Ugh, the soundtrack is going on my Spotify.
Tick, tick, boom. Okay.
All right. So yes, the movie.
Katie's face is so stressed.
I'm looking
right
through
now.
my notes. Okay, so the movie starts off with some sad music because this is gonna have some sad parts. And now we're on a sad train in the rain and the cold, and it's Julia Stiles. Her name is Sara. She's sitting alone because her mom's dead, and nobody sits with you on the train when your mom's dead. And we get some exposition that she used to be a ballet dancer, and then it was like she lived with her mom and life was great, and then life wasn't great because mom's dead and everything's wrong. Now she's going to Chicago on the sad train to meet her dad, who has, I go, oh no, dad with a weird hat and mustache. Oh. So that's the dad. He's awkward, and they clearly, you could tell, like, don't really have a good relationship or any, and now she's got to go live with him, and she's going to Chicago, and she used to live in, I guess, a different place. I don't know. And now she's in a new school, and in her school, it is a higher black population, I'm assuming, than what she went to. Oh yeah, we did see her old school, didn't we? In the beginning? Like a flashback?
Oh yeah, she was like, it was like 1% white
right.
people in her now new Chicago high school.
Right, and then that's obviously not what she is accustomed to. Whatever. So then it's kind of like, okay, you see her, she's the new girl, and like, new girl cliches, being smart in class, and then everybody like making fun of you. But don't worry, guys, because Kerry Washington comes in and saves the day, because she's great. And she literally saves her from some nerds. Thank God, because that was going to be a hard movie if I had to watch nerds teach Julia Stiles how to dance. That would have been difficult for me.
Didn't sign up for that.
No. So they become friends, and Kerry Washington, her name is Chenille, and she kind of takes her under her wing and introduces her to other people and whatever, and then she's like, oh, you know that guy who was like a jerk to you in English class? That's my brother! Ha! Anyway. And you're like, wow, my God. So then, basically they go to a dance club, except, again, Sara, who, homegirl did ballet for, like, I'm assuming most of her life, but somehow she has no rhythm, so some Somebody
my
tell
God.
me how we got here.
How?
How did we get
I'm
here?
sorry, but I have more faith in ballerinas to have freaking rhythm
Me
than
too!
her. Good God.
Yeah, it was painful. So she obviously cannot dance, but Derek was like, yo, let's dance. Let me see. You said you're such a great dancer. At first he's kind of like poking her and whatever, and then he ends up being like, oh, you like literally don't know what's happening. He's like, let me help you. This is embarrassing.
He's like, oh no.
Yeah. So he's like nice and he's trying to help her and stuff, and then Sarah's like, ooh, meow, Derek. He was nice to me once. He was also mean to me once, but he was nice to me once, so now I like him. Hooray. And pretty quickly, now we're friends. And then Derek's like, hey, you want to like dance more? Just cuz? And then she's like, totally. And I'm like, that's the weirdest setup ever. Also, we meet a girl who was like Derek's ex-girlfriend, Nikki, and she's just rude all the time. And we don't like her.
She's fantastic though, isn't she?
Oh, she's great at playing the part.
Bianca Lawson.
Yeah, she's just always got that, like, attitude, and you're like, oh, no, I'm afraid. So they just, I don't know, they just do dance stuff, and, like, honestly, that's a lot of it, and then, like, slowly through their dancing hangouts, not dates, hangouts, sweating, you know, they get to know each other better, and you find out, like, oh, Derek is going to college. He's going to Georgetown, which is amazing, and he wants to be a doctor. And then Sarah's like, oh, I used to, like, be a ballerina. And he's like, you can still do it, Sarah. Let's do it. And then, like, somehow she's like, hooray. And she, like, opens up about her mom being dead, and, like, wow, I'm sad, and life is horrible, and everything sucks. And there's a lot of that. And then meanwhile, in the background, there's other very, like, serious social issues happening for other people's lives. So Derek's one friend, his name is Malachi, he is in a gang, I suppose, and we don't get a lot of, like, info specifically what's happening. We just know, like, he's having some issues with other people, and then there's, like, a drive-by, and then he's like, I'm gonna do drive-by. Derek, come with me. And then Derek's like, oh no, moral dilemma. So that's something happening. Kerry Washington, Chenille, has a son who's, like, I don't know, maybe, like, 2, and the dad of the son sucks, but he, like, kind of is around, but he's, like, not around, and so that's horrible. So she's, like, dealing with that. Everything's wrong. It's also really cold, and it's just not great. So this is a setup we have, and then there ends up being a lot of actually really interesting perspectives on them, like, dating that is brought up by different people, which I think is interesting, and that kind of leads to them getting in a fight that really Sara kind of brings up, and she's like, doesn't bother you? Everyone's, like, looking at us, and he's like, no, what a white person thing to worry about, honestly. And I'm like, good point, Derek. There's bigger problems in the world. And then they kind of break up, whatever. And then there's, like, I don't know, there's, like, stuff where, like, her and her dad bond or whatever. And then now it's dance time, and it's time to dance. And Derek's got to choose between going to the drive-by gang fight where someone will die or to watch a dance audition. Yeah, so you could probably guess what he picks. And then at the end, Sara does her dances, multiple. And even though they legally can't tell her she got into the school yet, they break the law and say, you're in the school right now. Hooray. And then the movie ends with everyone in the club. And that's the end. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
Oh my God. So awesome. Wow. The only things I'd add where I read a lot about people's reviews. I read a lot from a lot of different types of people because, you know, white people review, like Roger Ebert reviewing it. I'm like, I don't know if you're the right, you know, old white dude getting it.
No.
But he actually rated it pretty well.
Oh.
A lot of people now kind of shit on it because of how embarrassing her Juilliard dance audition
I
is.
would like to object. I thought it was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. I would like to retract my making fun of it last time. I thought it was a lot better watching it now.
Okay, it is a lot better than, like, what TikTok and any, like, internet video makes it. However, let's get some perspective. Julliard accepts 24 people a year.
Oh my God.
In the entire world. People that have gotten accepted to Julliard are like Yo-Yo Man. Okay, like the most epic of epic people ever. So even though for us, we're like, it's not that bad, I think from a Julliard level, it's pretty freaking bad.
Okay, that's fair.
Now, I think when people like take the part of the dancing where she does the point, that's when she kind of like lost me. But the stuff in between is pretty good. And honestly, a lot of the dancing was her. She did like a lot of...
That's cool.
You know, she did a lot of rehearsals and training and all that.
I hope she did it with Derek in abandoned buildings.
I do too. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Also, you need to look him up now. That man is 50 years old and looks like he's freaking 19.
Vampire!
There's another vampire. Okay, wait. So then the other like overarching feedback is, so the writer, Dwayne Adler, is a white man. The director is a black man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There wasn't a lot of other writers who were black.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
So the South Side Chicago, where Chenille's a teenage single mom and Malachi's coming out of juvie, and then when I go to high school, I gotta go through like the, you know, scanner to make sure I don't have security, and, you know, and not showing other variations of black people.
Mm-hmm.
And all that they're doing is propping up Julia Stiles, the new white girl who's like mediocre in a lot of things.
Yeah.
And the fact that Kerry Washington, there's like a lot of stuff about how even her doing this movie, she didn't make a lot of money. So that's the critiques I think are like really good, is the movie is set through what they call like white gaze.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's set through, and then even Julia Stiles not getting why an interracial relationship with somebody like Derek, who's perfect, why is that such a big deal? And not like at all trying to see the other side. She talked about how when she did this movie, she felt ignorant. She's like, is anyone, like, it's 2001. Like, do people care? And in a way, okay, I get that. It's not like 1950s and 60s, which dramatically people would really care. But it's like a lot more subtle, you know? And like 2001, with like people not understanding white privilege or like the dynamics of it.
But I feel like they did call that out in some of the writing. Like Chenille literally is like, you live in a different world than us. And she's like, there's one world, Chenille. And she's like, yeah, to you people. Like, we know better. And she says that.
Yes. And I just wish that we got more, like, Chenille didn't have to be a teen mom whose mom also was in jail and a drug addict.
Yeah, that was a lot.
And brother was going to Georgetown to be a doctor. It's like, whoa. We have to have, like, more nuance with it. So those were the big overarching critiques that I saw. But I'm going to tell you, I freaking love this movie.
Me too!
I love it so much. And I was dancing.
Yes.
And Julia Stiles is ridiculous. And I love everything about it. I think the lines are just so funny. And I love it. So we got to go through it, but I felt like that was important to share.
Yeah, I feel like we'll definitely have more stuff that's kind of brought up as we go through. But, you know, like I said, we start off with it's the same little sad piano music lick that starts playing and you're like, woo, save last dance. Oh, never mind. Now I'm sad. JK, no dancing yet. Just crying.
Super drama.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, this is like an entire movie in 3 minutes.
I know.
Of this flashback.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, mom and daughter, best friends. It's just them. She's trying to get her dream dance job. Oh, her mom's stressed at the flower shop. Oh, she's begging her to come to the audition. Oh, she's not going to make it. Oh, things are not happening. Oh, she's rushing to the audition. She's dead. She's dead.
And then the dance symbolism of her messing up. I was like, okay, you know.
I mean, it went from like 0 to 100, and here we were thinking we were just chilling on a train with the sourpuss face.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the and then it was all because some lady was like, oh, can I sit here? And she was like, sure. And then, you know, again, even though now Sara hates dance, don't worry, she carries around dance magazines, and the lady's like, oh, do you like to dance? And Sara goes, I used to dance. So I was like, okay, the drama.
Oh my god.
Yes, but then we meet her dad, and
what did I write for him? I wrote, oh my god, I had to write so much about this flashback because it was so intense. I just said that he kind of had this, like, I'm a jazz guy, but had like a hipster vibe too, and he kind of was like scraggly.
I didn't like it at all. And then he's like, come to my apartment where the paint is peeling, and this is what he says about the apartment. He goes, water's hot and the mice are friendly. Sir, Not the way to sell it. Try a little harder.
Also, he's like, you're gonna sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, her mom just died. You can't get her a bed.
Right,
like,
you
cot?
sleep on the couch. What the heck? What's going on?
Also, let's face it, Men in Black, aliens are among us. Like, he could have been one.
Oh, definitely. And then that's why he was so weird. He was like, I have to be a human in front
He's
of
like,
someone.
do you want a frozen meal?
Yeah, I like Swansons. Do you like Swansons? I was like, who the heck are you and why is this happening?
Oh my god.
Every scene with him was weird.
Yeah. But luckily, we only had like so many interactions with him. So like, again, I think good directing on like, okay, we don't have to deal with him too much. Like they had a couple fights, but it was never so annoying that I'm like, I hate this character. Like he's just somebody that is like not a good parent.
Yeah. So then she goes to school and it's like, whoa, security checkpoints. Whoa, what's happening?
Well, like, you're the only white girl. I think that's what made this movie nuanced. it was like, we're gonna do a movie with a ton of black people and only one white person. Isn't it weird? And you're like, oh, that's how like everyone else feels who's not white.
I actually was surprised that they didn't like have a scene where she did pair up with some white people, because there was a part, I think it was like in the cafeteria, where she's like, obviously she has to go find a place to sit, and she sees a table with like 4 other white people, but she doesn't go over there. And I was actually surprised, because I just feel like that's like what you would expect to see, but she doesn't. Instead she goes sits with some other nerds.
But at the same time, like, I don't know, in a way I also was like, all right, let's move on and go to some cool characters like Kerry Washington.
Well, and before we even meet her, we have a scene where she's in the English class.
It was like 10 Things I Hate About You all over again.
This was very 10 Things I Hate About You. The teacher was giving me those vibes where he's like, like making fun of the children, and I don't even know. And then there's a character named Snooky.
Oh,
not the Jersey Shore, thank God.
Nicole Snooki, whatever the hell her last name is, got her nickname from this character.
Why? How does that make any sense?
I read apparently like her, because she's like that age that this was popular when she was young, and I don't know, apparently people thought that she acted like him, and so everyone called her Snooki.
Did she DJ at the dance clubs? What's happening?
No one would be surprised.
Okay, well...
I thought that was amazing.
Woof.
Continue.
So Snooki's in there being Snooki, and then the teacher's just kind of making fun of him, and then Julia Stiles is like, I'm smart, let me speak up. And she talks about, I didn't write the author's name down, but they're referencing a black author who wrote about, black experiences. And so she kind of like, again, gives an answer that's very like white person answer. And Derek calls her out and is like, really? Have you really read this stuff? How much of his works have you really read? Again, I thought it was interesting because I'm like, he's just basically saying like, just because you're like a smart white person doesn't mean you actually like appreciate some of this stuff for what it is. Like, you're not on your own time going to read authors of color. And then he makes a reference too about like music, where he's like, you don't listen to this type of music.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I was like, oh, okay, 2001.
Well, and they were subtle about it.
Yeah.
Fairly smooth. Like, hit the hit, and then the class was done, we're moving on.
Yep. And so then we meet Kerry Washington.
Yes. I wrote, Kerry Washington, I live and breathe. Queen. Scandal. Olivia
What
Pope.
does she do in her introduction?
She steals her bag and says, what did she say? She says, you need to watch where you put your shit.
Yeah. Yes.
And I was like, okay.
I feel like that's a good lesson if you're anywhere in like a city, because there's lots of people.
Yeah, so she kind of right away is just like nice, but does it with like, some style.
Like Kerry Washington style.
And then the lunchtime scene, I gotta tell you, any new school lunchtime scene, I just get anxiety.
Oh, I know.
Who doesn't get anxiety in this moment? Because where do you sit? You don't know what to do. It's not good.
No.
It's not good.
And I still want to be like, why did you end up with the nerds? Like, they're all like boy nerds too. I'm like, you could have sat with, there were other seats. Okay, Sara, my God. And thank God Chenille comes and saves her. And she's like, don't you ever sit with those people again. I was like, thank you, Chenille.
Honestly, Chenille was so nice to her, and I was
so
like,
nice.
but like, why? I get she's like the main character, but like, why was she so nice to her?
Well, and then we have a Bob scene, Bridge. It was quick,
Oh,
but it was Bobby.
Tell me. What was it?
So
Which one?
it's right here. Chenille gets her, and then she's like, come sit with me. And like, they're walking, and they pause, and the camera pans to, I think it's a girl, who is dancing, just doing hip hop, like in a doorway, and someone is like standing watching her, and like music's playing, and then it cuts back to Sara, who's like, and then Chenille goes, it's just some hip hop. And then we all move on. And I was like, oh no, Bob, why did that have to be the intro to the dance theme? Come on.
I love it.
Oh, it was the worst.
And then I have a lot of lines where Julia Stiles is awkward or says awkward things.
Yeah.
Because then she pretty much tells Chenille that she like hates her brother. And Chenille's like, oh, my brother? And she's like,
and then she's like, haha, he does suck. And I was like, Chenille, you're cool. Again, winning all the awards.
She's so funny. And we meet Malachi right away.
Oh, yes, we do.
Who we learn he just got out of juvie. We don't know what for, but he's very tough.
We do find out he was in juvie for when him and Derek went to steal from the one, like,
liquor store.
It was like they were stealing a cash register, but then he, like, led the cops away from Derek.
Yes.
And, like, he didn't snitch on Derek, and then that becomes, like, kind of a weird plot point on why he's still friends with this person.
Yeah, but we learned it later. We don't learn it when we first meet him, right?
No, we don't learn it right away. Right, we learn that later.
But we're like, this guy's tough. And and you're like, okay, check.
Okay, got it.
Moving on. Oh my god, and then Julia Stiles talks to her dad and calls him Roy.
Roy? What? Why did she call him Roy?
She goes,
oh, like
he wants her to go. He wants her to go out to watch him play, and she goes, Roy, it's a school night.
It was so awkward every time they were in the same frame. I hated it. I hated all of it. The only time it got not awkward was when he was like a human at the end. But every other time I was like, get your Swansons out of my face, okay? I will not be eating that. Ugh.
Oh my god. Yeah. And then I feel like, again, Chenille is like being very nice. Because somehow they meet up again, right?
Well, they're in the same gym class and they're doing gymnastics.
Oh, that's
and
what
this
it was.
is where Julia Stiles, becomes Simone Biles gymnast. And I suppose that's like, I don't know. I guess if you do ballet, you can do gymnastics. I don't know the rules, guys. What do I look like? Jeez.
It was kind of embarrassing. I'm sorry. That was also embarrassing.
All she was doing was like balancing. And I was like, I think other people can do it. And then Chenille was like, wow! Amazing! And
how
then
do you do that thing with your legs?
Yeah, and then that's where she's like, you should come to the dance club with us. And I was like, how did we get over here to over there? How did we do it?
Well, again, I was like, they're so nice to her. And then there's a lot of really good, like, funny lines.
Yeah.
So she goes to Snook, or Snooky, the guy, whatever.
Sometimes they call him Snooks, by the way.
Oh my god, amazing. So he tells Chenille, he goes, did you forget my name like your manners? And he goes, they call me Snook the Coochie Crook.
I wrote that down! Snook the Coochie Crook! Amazing.
I was like, 2001, what?
Amazing.
What is happening? But also, like, how funny would that be to say to somebody? Excuse me, did you forget my name like your manners? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So she has to get a fake ID. Because I was trying to figure out, I'm like, is this like an 18-year-old dance club? But I think it was like a club.
It was a club. Yeah.
I was like, really? Like a bunch of high schoolers? But, I mean, let's face it, they all looked like 35 years old.
Yeah, I felt like Julia Stiles looked the oldest too. So I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
But this is where Derek, like, butts in on their conversation because she's like, Snooks, she needs a fake ID. Because Snooks does everything in the background. He's the DJ.
He is working so hard.
He's getting the IDs. He's probably the bouncer. He's also the bartender. I don't know what he does. He's also in high school. Who knows? But Derek comes over and he's like, Sara, you're going to Steps, which is the name of the club. And he goes, Steps ain't no square dance. And then Julia Stiles goes, well, I'll dance in circles around you, because then we have shape insults back and forth with the square and the circles, and I just cannot.
Throughout this whole movie, she never smiles, because she's sad about, like, her mom and her life, and all she does is just, like, fire back at people.
Yeah.
Like, all the time.
Super
and
defensive.
even when she got this fake ID from Snooks and they, like, fought, because he was like, you think you could get in with your looks? Ha ha ha. She goes, Snooks, for someone that doesn't say anything, you do talk a lot.
Yeah.
And she, like, whips the money, like, the dramatic money, where she, like, shoves it in his face.
I saw it. Too much.
Oh my god, I was like, sass. She is full of sass.
She's full of sass, but then she wears the worst outfit ever to go to the club. Girl.
Oh my god. And I thought it was really funny when she was like, is my outfit okay? And Chanel's like, yeah.
Chanel's like, I don't have time for this. We gotta go.
Yeah, she's like, I want to go have fun.
Yep.
She's like, no. Is my outfit okay? And Chanel's like, okay. Let's wrap your Gap shirt around your head.
Amazing.
She was like, whatever's happening with that hair is terrible. Let's hide it.
Yeah, she called her country. She goes, it's country. I was like, I
love it.
She is wearing boots. Don't wear boots to the club, guys, because your shoes are getting messed up. That's Katie's club fact, number 1.
Oh my god, I can't. Yeah, and gives her hoops, which I'm like, we're sharing earrings. What's happening?
Yeah, that's a friendship level up.
But, like, it seemed like a really fun club.
Yeah, I would have a good time. It was big, too. I'm like, this is, like, big, multiple levels, and
awesome
wow.
music. It was packed, but it wasn't, like, grody. And
yeah.
I don't even know. It looked super fun, and nobody was stressed out. I mean, if I was in high school trying to get into a 21-year-old club, I would be, like, very stressed out, and they just skipped over that whole fact. They're, like, in the club, and then they gotta start dancing.
Well, it's also because 17-year-old Snooks is spinning up top, so, I don't think age matters here as much as they say it does. And then this is where we meet Nikki.
Oof.
And, I mean, you meet other characters, but, like, I guess she's one of the main.
She, with her outfit, is giving off some major Aaliyah vibes.
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people said that.
Oh, and her hair,
and I was like,
too. Like, she had
her
it
hair,
styled similarly.
Her style, and you're just like, wowie, 2001.
Yeah, and Nikki is rude, and somehow this leads to Chenille getting up to beat her up, and then it doesn't happen, and then you're like, okay, guess we don't like Nikki? Moving on. I don't know. Then I wrote, oh boy, Derek is wearing a giant vest and a winter hat in the club, and he's gonna get sweaty real quick. Sir, you better hope there's a coat check. Come on now. That's Katie's club rule number 2. You do not wear your winter coat to the club, people. I don't care if it's winter. Figure it out.
Okay.
How long are you standing outside?
Who knew you had so many club rules,
I have
Kate?
the club rules. Yes. Yes, I do.
Oh my god. Okay, so we also meet Chanel's, like, boyfriend, baby daddy, whatever we want to call him. This was the only time I felt like she, like, actually acted like a teenager.
Oh.
She got all, like, she was like, oh my god, don't look.
She's like, don't look.
Here.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. And I thought to myself, like, the rest of the movie, she acts like, again, she's like 35.
Yeah.
Which is really fun and cool, but also not as believable as a high schooler. But we meet him, and in the background is the song Murder, She Wrote.
I wrote that down.
Murder, She Wrote.
Oh my god, amazing.
And rum and coke, no ice.
No ice.
Okay?
Come on.
I was like, wow, we're gonna add drinking to this? Because this is, like, way too much for Sara.
Yeah.
She does not know what's happening.
Sara was like, get me a beer. And then Derek, like, literally appears out of thin air. It's like, oh, a beer. Oh my god. I was like, Derek, no chill, man. Like, we get it. You're into Sara. Jesus Christ. Take a chill pill. And this is where he's like, well, come on. Gonna dance in circles around me. Come on. Let's go do it. And she does. And honestly, if I knew I couldn't dance, I would have not had the balls to go out on the dance floor and do it. I think I would have been like, my leg broke. Gotta go. Bye.
You would, like, walk on the dance floor and just keep walking, and Derek would be like, Katie,
I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
Just Irish exit. Yeah.
It was so awkward watching her.
I hate
it. Like, she did awkward well. Like, and he, at first, you could tell was like, I'm gonna make fun of her. She's so cocky. And then he was like, oh, she's really bad.
And she does this, like, weird clapping, but it was, like, not even in time. And, I hated it.
And it wasn't even, like, funny. You know how, like you could see, like, an actor trying to, like, make fun and be, like, I don't know, kind of, like, goofy. It was just straight up, like, she was so stiff and, like, paralyzed paralyzed by fear. You're like, oh God, I want you to drink at this point.
If anyone wants to watch a scene of someone obviously acting, but like the character is like being serious, but like it's like horrible dancing, there is a scene from Degrassi season 5 with Manny at the Valentine's Day dance. It's amazing. She wears a stupid hat. Bridge, I'll send you the video. Don't worry. Anyway, that's where my mind went for this.
Can't
this
wait.
part.
Can't wait, but we get distracted because a fight breaks out because Malachi has to punch someone in the face.
I hate it. I'm scared.
And then they all run from the club. And I kept thinking, was that like 8 minutes inside and we're already leaving? Like
Snooks went through so much work to get this
Poor
stupid fake
nobody
ID.
appreciates
Poor
Snooks.
Snooks. Oh no.
Oh my God.
Well, this is where Derek's like, I'll walk you home. And she's like, I live right there. He's like, I'll walk you. And I was like, Derek, again, no chill, man. Take it easy. And that's where he's like, we should practice dance. Like, I think that's what he says. And I was like, that's a weird sentence. And she's like, totally.
Okay, it's funny that that's the vibes you got. The way I looked at it is he like pitied her.
I mean, I guess. But like,
I looked at like, I mean, I definitely was like, okay, he has to have a crush on her. He would not be doing this for free. And like, why? She didn't even ask. But what I liked about their relationship is it wasn't like all about like sex and love. Like it was just kind of like, let's just start with dancing and see what happens. And it was kind of refreshing.
Yeah, no, I liked how it was kind of, I mean, and again, like the race dynamic is a little annoying. How it's like, okay, the freaking black people gotta build up the white lady. Great.
Yeah, for free.
But if we take that out and we look at like from a relationship status, it's like that is kind of sweet that like you have a guy who likes a girl and he's like trying to support her even though it's something that has nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I support your dream. You should totally do it. You can do it and all that stuff. Like I did like that aspect too.
Yeah, it was wholesome.
Mm-hmm. And actually there's a really sweet line that she says that I was like, oh, where she like turns to him before she goes in and she goes, thank you for the dance. And I was like, oh,
that's sweet.
Because it's like no one else was going to ask you to dance because you suck, but Derek did.
Yeah, him and Chenille get the nice award. That's for sure.
They do.
And then, okay, so we slowly learn more and more about his backstory, how he wants to be a doctor, because he likes kids. And we also learn how Julia Stiles is very ignorant and like, Chenille, is that your son? You're a teenager. And
Chenille goes, well, it ain't Mama Dean's. Which I was like, that's true. That was kind of a dumbass question.
But then she says to Derek, do you have a kid? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great because it's like, come on, Sarah, so you just meet like 2 black people in your life and you assume they're all the same?
Right.
Come on!
I know. Yeah.
But yeah, and then you sent me a meme before we started.
Oh my God.
Where they're in the cafeteria doing their like dance moves.
It's amazing.
By the way, he's like 1,000 times better than her.
Yeah.
And so she's gotta like, cause she's very cocky and like defensive, as you say, she's gotta show her ballet. And she just whips her leg back.
And like
she's
a
Cupid.
weird like upside down J.
I have no idea. And looks back. And then I gotta tell you, I would have been so embarrassed to do that in front of somebody. And she spins away like, yeah, I bet she never saw that before. And I was like, I don't think anyone should see that, Sarah. Stop.
Nobody's seen that. Nobody wanted
so
to. What's happening?
You. Oh my God.
If I was Derek, I would have been like, you good? You alright?
Can you imagine? Like,
my God.
Yeah, but again, everyone's like, wow, what is that? And she's like, enchanté, or whatever ballet phrase she uses.
Yeah, no.
And he's like, oh, wow. And she's like, I don't want to talk about it. And he's like, oh, is that why you like whipped your leg around? She didn't want to talk about it?
Yeah.
I was like, oh
amazing.
my God, this is amazing.
So funny. This is where our next scene is Malachi is threatening and smacking around a girl in the bathroom at school, and we hate it.
That was super uncomfortable.
I hate it.
You got the sense what she bought drugs from him but never paid him, so he wanted his money. Is that what? Like,
I think that's where it was. They never used the word drugs, but you could kind of tell. Like, that's, I guess, what they're implying.
It was violent, and like I kind of followed Julia Stiles after this because she's like, he's scary. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, he is scary. I'm very afraid of him.
Yeah.
Because if I came into a bathroom and he's slapping someone across the face,
yeah,
I'm running.
Where are the adults? Okay, who's the bathroom monitor? I'm offended. Nobody watched him go in the ladies' room. Jesus.
Who is the bathroom monitor? Oh my god.
But Sara, you know, I mean, well, first Malachi like threatens her. He's like, if you tell anyone, I will kill you. I don't think he says kill, but he like, you know, makes it scary. And she never tells Derek that she saw that, which I actually thought was kind of interesting too, because then you have that then you have that whole subplot of like, you know, oh, like, don't be a snitch, and like, that's like a thing and whatever, and it's just, I thought it was interesting, because she kind of brings it up to him like, so, Malachi, you like him, huh? Oh, okay, I'm scared. And he's like, Malachi's great, he's a great person, and you're like, oh, Derek, oh, honey.
Derek, I don't know about that.
No.
Yeah. And then we start slowly seeing them bond, right? They start sharing more and more details. And this is when I like to watch how many braids she has in her hair. Because first it becomes twisties, then it becomes like a version of cornrows, then it becomes like, I don't know who made these decisions, but please stop braiding her hair. Then it was like pigtails, then it was like 4 pigtails. I was like,
it was too much.
It was like drink. Every time she adds more braids to her hair.
You'll be dead. Oh god.
But yeah, and then we see Derek get into Georgetown, which is so exciting, and like everybody's dancing, and you know, and then the outside world, because they're on a train, and some lady stares at them because they're in an interracial relationship, and she doesn't like that, and so then you start to kind of like the outside world is creeping in, so they're trying to like show that.
Also, that scene I thought was really funny because she's like, play along, and Derek's like, oh, don't mind if I do, and then he goes in for the hickey, and I was like, damn, Derek, like, y'all could have just cuddled, but you just like suck it on the neck. Wow. Like, he
also,
went
she was like awkward with her gloves too. I was like, why do you have these like weird like thin gloves? Like, it was very magician.
And then they like have their weird public sex on the train, and then they're like, anyway, we're not dating, by the way. Like, just so we're all clear. And I'm like, what's going on? Okay.
What is the Facebook status?
We need a Facebook. The Facebook status is we are dancing together. That's what theirs would
currently
be.
Dancing together. But again, he's amazing and takes her to the ballet.
So sweet.
Because she did like, I know, my God, like she did one high kick, and he's like, you know what? Even though I got into Georgetown on a full ride and like my life has changed forever, this freaking white girl I met for 2 weeks, I'm gonna take to the ballet, which you know is expensive.
Yeah.
And she was all nervous because it brings back the memories of her mom, but she loved it, and I just thought it was like so sweet. And then they bond afterwards of him being like, what's the deal? Go do ballet. What's your problem?
What's the 411?
What's the skinning?
What's everyone talking about? Yeah, that I got emotional at that part where she kind of goes on this monologue where she's like, I think I killed my mom. Very my girl, by the way. Sara and Veda, they would be friends.
And in both instances, you're thinking, why isn't she in therapy?
Thank you! Everybody needs therapy. Yeah. And it was just really sweet. And yeah, he was like super supportive. I think I was like very honed in. This can tell you where I am in my single life right now, listeners. I was very honed in on the super supportive partner in the relationship being like, I support what you do. You're amazing. You can do it. Go team. Like, I think I was like, oh, I really like that. Because it wasn't like, what about us? Like, me and you, equal. Like, he was like, no, like, you got your own thing, and that's awesome. And like, go you. And I was like, yeah, that's right. We need more of that in general.
No, that's what I loved about it. Like, at one point I wrote, this is really refreshing love story.
Yeah.
Because they have a common interest, so they do do that together and whatever, that's fun and cool. But in general, they're kind of like, it's like he's still going to Georgetown on a full ride and not changing his life.
Yes.
For some weirdo girl he met.
Thank God.
Thank God is right.
No, frickin' Love Actually's up in here. Thank you very much.
No. And even when he's like screaming at her and he's like, what do you want, Sara? It reminded me of The Notebook. Do you know that scene where he's like, what do you want? What do you want? And she's like, I don't know. And like that whole movie is all about their love and changing their life. And in this movie, it was like, I got shit going on. And he's like, well, go dance.
Yeah.
How Kevin Bacon of him.
Very Kevin Bacon, yes.
And I just like that it was just less about, like, sex.
Yeah.
But don't worry, because all the unrealistic elements come in. Juilliard auditions are in a month.
Here we go.
Somehow she's able to get them. And don't worry, she has them in training, but she'll be fine.
She'll be fucking fine, because all you need to do is to dance next to homeless people on the street and bother them. I mean, maybe they wanted their own private time, and you literally are up in their space. Like, you could dance over there. I don't understand like why you need to do that, Sara. It peeved me.
That was like the movie poster of her under the bridge,
but like
dancing.
No, there was literally there's like a homeless person who's like a dumpster on fire, and they're just trying to warm themselves, and she's like, yeah, white person, yeah, and I was like, Sara, get out of the frame, girl. Give him $1 at least. Jesus Christ, this is the worst. It was so awkward.
Oh God. I think I wrote, she dances under the bridge like a leprechaun. Homeless dude to the right is like, what?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we love a good dance montage, but like, there's a time and place, okay?
There's a time and place.
My God.
We start to see kind of like some Black Swan-esque, like broken toes, and you know, I gotta get my shoes out again, and I gotta get back into shape, and then we end up Kate back at the and now she's ready because she has definitely been dancing and is ready for this moment and is not going to get all weird on the dance floor. And boy, did they come out swinging.
And not only is she ready to dance, but she's also ready with her butterfly clips because she fucking wore butterfly clips to this club. And if I was the bouncer, I would have been like, girl, you better find a car to change in because something's happening.
So, okay, I got some real Bend It Like Beckham vibes. Because she had on the, like, gold sequiny halter with no back.
Oh, yeah.
And Nikki comes in, and then it's like a three-way dance scene. And I was like, Bend It Like Beckham.
Oh, we hate it. We don't like it. Not with Coach Joe. Oh, Jesus. Nikki did weird, like, her dance move was, like, to, like, lightly slap her, like, hips and her butt.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just don't know about that one, Nikki, but okay.
Yeah, so that was awkward, and Sara was definitely embarrassed, and honestly, I'd be a little annoyed too, because it's like,
I would too.
Come on. But she was somewhat, I don't know, she kind of forgave him. She was like, okay, I didn't like it, but okay.
I literally wrote, oh my God, did Derek go into a dance trance? What's happening here? And then he, like, gets out of his dance trance, and he's like, oh, Sara, there you are. Where'd you go? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, and I was like, Derek, get it together. Focus. And then I see your true colors shining through. That's why I love you. Oh my God,
She's like, my dad's gone all night. Barrow chicka wow wow. Oh my God.
Yeah, and they didn't show teenagers having sex. Thank you, MTV Productions. We all appreciate that because we don't need to see that.
Thank you. And we knew what was happening, and that's all we needed.
That's
Moving
why
on.
I love you.
This soundtrack is so good. Like, I listened to it over and over as a kid.
It's going on my Spotify right now.
So good. And then he meets everybody at like a diner, I guess, in the morning, and they just start telling him how white women are trouble. And I'm like, Not wrong.
Well, then there's interesting commentary here because it's a conversation of Malachi being like, so anyway, now we're gonna do our drive-by. Are you ready? Let's go beat up that guy. And then Derek's like, no, Malachi, you don't have to do that. Like, you can change. And then Malachi is kind of like, yeah, I'm not you. You're going to college and that's super cool for you. He's like, but that's not like me. Like, I'm not like smart like that. And I thought that was like interesting because again, it was a little like, you know, obviously it's not playing to the race involved with it, but it was kind of saying like, there are still a lot of other factors that can kind of privilege you. And some of that could literally be intelligence or opportunity or, you know, things like that. And I was like, oh, I like how they did that.
Well, I read somewhere, and I thought this was done so well, is like the characters knew themselves really well.
Mm-hmm.
Where typically in some of these movies, you know, they don't know what's happening, and the like audience is like, come on, Veda, you didn't kill your mom,
right.
You know? It's like, I don't know, and he did that really well. But we get to the dramatic basketball gym class.
The symbolism basketball.
Woo!
Wow.
Nikki gets in a big fight with Sara, and she claws back with like hair pulling and slapping, and it was very drama.
It brought me back to my freshman year of high school when I witnessed. I wasn't involved, but I feel like I witnessed so many like girl fights, and one very specific one I will never forget where. Some girl was sitting like at the table across from me, so I was like watching her and she was facing me, and some girl walks by and she poured a cup of honey mustard on her head. And then that girl whipped around, grabbed that girl by the hair, and she threw her over the table, and she slammed into my table, and Mel got out of the way just in time because she was gonna get all up in there, and she was gonna get literally slammed with the girl. Yeah, it was wild.
Wow.
So I had some PTSD flashbacks from those.
But you never got in a fight.
No.
Oof.
But yes, so we have the basketball fighting with the ladies, and then, you know, the boys are also playing basketball, but theirs is a little more serious because people are almost dying because there is a drive-by with guns, and I'm afraid.
It was sad. It was like, because you're like, I get this is a movie, and these people all look like they're 30, but these are high school kids.
Yeah.
Like, that part of the movie, I was like, this is sad. And the whole, like, Nikki, you know, being like, it ain't over, bitch.
Oh my god, so drama.
I don't even know why it started, bitch.
Yeah.
And then she starts explaining, like, you're taking our men and you don't get it. And Sara being like, I don't understand. We like each other. What's the problem? And this is like what starts the outside world, right? That's like coming into the relationship. But she's just so like committed as this like tough girl, Nikki, that you're just like, oh my God.
I think this is where I kind of like, I understand this message, but I think what I was kind of like, I don't like how they're presenting this is they're kind of presenting it as like, well, you know, we as black women, all we have left are the black men we end up with. And I'm like, wait, that's kind of bullshit, because we had a scene earlier of Chenille, who's like a really cool fashion designer, but she only gets like one fucking minute of that. Like, why can't we have more of like these women like being successful on their fucking own? Like, why does it have to be tied to like who you're dating? I mean, that just annoys me regardless of race. And I think I was just like, I understand in this context and that perspective, but it's like, I don't know, maybe it's just the like counselor, psychologist in me, like, you can do it yourself, you don't need no one. Believe yourself.
I know what you mean, and I think the problem with the movie is they didn't, like, we don't know about Nikki. Mm-hmm. We don't know enough about Chenille. We didn't know enough about these other, like, Snooki. Maybe he's like a lot cooler than we realize, and he's got like a lot going on.
Own business with fake IDs. He is a traveling entertainer via DJ. Like, he's got things going for him, I think.
Like, maybe he's, like, paying for his family, you know? And, like, I don't know. I think that was part of the problem, is, like, they were sharing a very important message, and at the same time, we didn't get to see enough about everybody else. which,
Yeah.
you know, in itself is sad. But yeah, and then somehow, don't we go back to a club?
I think
we go back to the club?
We're back to the club because I wrote down a part where it says, Malachi says this to Sara because Malachi's like, Derek, come to my drive-by. Come on, bud. It'll be a grand old day. And then Derek's like, I don't know. And then Sara comes over and is like, hey. And then Malachi goes, this is an A and B conversation, so see your way out of it. And I was like, okay.
I also want to use that. I want to use that. So awesome.
I cannot. And then this turns into then Derek and Malachi like kind of get a fight, and Derek punches Malachi, and I got nervous because I was like, yo, he has like a gun. Like, please be careful. Don't piss off people with guns, you guys. Like, Jesus.
It was scary. But Derek, who is the best, oh man, how many people like wouldn't have the guts to do that?
Yeah.
In like best friend relationships, you
right.
know, to like hold their best friends like accountable when they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, I thought that was like interesting, but I was terrified. And then I don't understand why we ended up at the doctor with Chenille and her baby and Sara.
We go from like scary fight where you're like left very like uncomfortable, and then there's more uncomfortness because baby is screaming, crying. Baby's sad, and this was like baby Toby, and I was like, did this baby just come back from the labyrinth? Because I understand why
is
they're
David
crying.
Bowie around? Is he on the corner?
Did David Bowie kidnap this baby? Because I'm so sorry for your loss.
But it was so weird because I was like, oh, we're there for the baby because the baby's crying and sick, and then Chenille's like, I'm gonna make sure, Sara, she puts you on that list, and I'm like, wait, we're there for Sara now? Like, I didn't know what was happening.
No, they were there for the baby.
Okay.
It was definitely for the baby.
Okay, that makes way more sense. But then I was like, well, why is Sara there?
I think because friendship and I don't know. I'm not sure. Plot purposes, I suppose. Well, it was kind of plot purposes.
It was. But this was because when Nikki was trying to give the whole spiel about, like, coming in, taking our black men, blah, 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 like, Sara kind of was like, oh, it's just because you like Derek. I'm not taking you serious. But then when Chenille tells her, then she all of a sudden is like, oh shit. And then she basically, like, slinks away. And, I mean, it's done really well.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's also, like... It's very much like fragile white women, right?
Well, and Chenille says that. She's like, you're white, so you gotta be right.
Yes.
And then she's like, you know, you think, like, all your problems are, like, so serious. She's like, wake up, girl. Like, look where the fuck we are. We're in, like, a horrible pediatrician's office where everybody waits for a long time, and you probably have never had to experience this as a white person from where you grew up. And, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, very good. Ages well. I'm sure there's, like, way more nuanced I'm not even getting with it. But then this is what makes Sara say to Derek, I don't know about us, because like I've had one friction conversation about our relationship, and he's like, what do you mean? He's like, what no love, no, I just punched my best friend in the face, and she's like, yeah, I don't know, and he's like, wait, what?
He literally is like,
understood him.
He's like, I'm sorry, so like one thing is like inconvenient for you, so you're like dipping out? He's like, oh my god, like how white person of you, basically, like what privilege you have that that's what's breaking your back. Are you kidding? Yeah.
And he's like, you run when things get a little hard. And I was like, oh man, Derek bringing in the truth. And then I liked him because he was like, I'm out. And I'm like, I would be too, because she's annoying about this. Because she's like, no, I like you. No, maybe we shouldn't be together. But we just have to fight for a relationship that actually be in it. And you're like, Sara.
Oh, Sara. You better go dance it out, girl.
How many braids do you got going on right now?
My God. What number are we at, Sara? Oh, no.
But he goes and he apologizes to Malachi, who's like, hey, I got it, it's fine. But Malachi's like, I need you because we're doing a drive-by. And
he's like, don't forget that drive-by that's happening later.
I was like, Jesus, Malachi, we got it.
Oh my God. Get a new hobby, Malachi.
But this all is the culmination at the end. Like, the Julliard recital, the drive-by. And then all of a sudden her dad being like, I'm going to be a dad and get you a bed.
He fucking says sets up a room, and then he goes, don't touch the wall, the paint's still wet. Okay, well, you hung up pictures on there, so maybe, like, wait till it dries. Jesus Christmas. My God, this guy is a freaking mess. And then there's some weird, like, monologue he does about, like, I know I don't deserve to be your dad, but, well, darn it, I am your dad, and wow, forgive me, let me be your dad. And I was like, okay, lame. It's lame.
Well, I have the word awkward everywhere, but she was like, everything's screwed up. I messed things up with Derek, and I just want someone at my audition who loves me. And he was like, well, I love you. And then she just was quiet. She was just, she didn't say it back. She was just like, it starts crying. I was like, oh, no.
I know, but I did think that was sweet. I was having a lot of emotions throughout this movie.
Yeah, Kate, okay.
A lot of up and downs for Katie, yep.
But in general, then, he takes her. She's ready to go. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, the dancing wasn't as bad as I expected from the internet.
No, it was not that bad, people. And it's the whole, like, song, too, because for some reason I just thought it would be a lot shorter. And then, obviously, you'd have less opportunity to, like, see dance and whatever. But it was, like, long. It was, like, a full, like, 2.5, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole time we're watching Derek run, and he meets up with Malachi, and you're like, oh, what's he gonna do? But I've seen this movie 8,000 times, so I know it. And he's like, Malachi, I'm not doing it. And he's like, you don't have to do this either. Malachi's like, once again, I need to explain to you who I am.
Yeah, he's like, I have had this on my schedule for at least a week, sir, and I can't cancel that again.
Is that a Grinch line?
That's from the Grinch, yes. Well, and this is before Sarah's audition, technically, because this is like, you know, she's getting ready, whatever. And then, so then Malachi goes and does a drive-by, and somehow a car explodes. I don't know, now it's Fast and Furious, and then Malachi gets arrested, and that's the end for him.
I'm telling you, no one had a good ending at all. Like, they all had, like, meh.
It was meh.
And then we see the really not realistic, where he busts into a Juilliard.
Oh, where is the security?
Audition.
Hello?
And then he, not only does he bust in, but he also, like, tells them they better take her in, which, are we kidding? Like, what?
Not good. I would be like, shut the fuck up, Derek. Jesus Christ. Shut your mouth. Yeah. And then he's like, it's not too late, Sarah. It's time to dance. And then Kevin Bacon's like, let's dance. And then it's a dance part. No, I'm just kidding. That doesn't happen. I also love that
she starts her free form, which is all of what he taught her, and she screws up. And the guy's like, wait, we're going to give you a second chance because you're white.
Yeah, right? My God.
And I was like, wait, she gets a second chance after booking this a month before? And, like, what? But yeah, listen, I was up dancing. I loved it. I had a tear. I mean,
it was great.
I loved it. I loved it.
It was so fun.
And then where do we end up, Kate?
Oh,
back to Snook. We're working it.
DJ Snooks. I would love to go to a club with DJ Snooks because I'm ready. DJ
dream.
Snooks. He's spinning at steps. And what was the theme night, Bridge? Do you remember? There was a name for this night.
Oh,
it wasn't just any night, Bridge. This was a special night.
Oh my God, what was it called?
This was Main Squeeze Night.
Oh, yes.
Which was couples only. Which again, I was like, oh, poor Snugs. He's all by his lonesome up there. Anyway, we don't care about that because yippee, dance time. And then Chenille like goes up to Sara and is like, wow, congratulations to you for Julliard. And I was like, Chenille, how's your life? Because we cared about it before. And now we haven't cared about it for a while, so I hope.
Well, I'm like, we missed you for 40 minutes. I want to watch your movie.
Yeah,
you know?
And then I don't know. She's with her like the guy. His name was Kenny.
Yes, and Julia Stiles has about 82 braids at this point. It's peak braid.
It's braid time. Yes. Oh boy.
Wow, Kate. Wowie. We got through that. It was very much a teenage rom-com. Like now that I'm like actually talking it out loud, there's a lot to it, but watch it or don't watch it.
Watch it, 100%. If you want to get a little emotional, I don't know, I got emotional, like, at random parts, and I was like, oh my God, the feeling. So, you know, sometimes you have that, like, imaginary list in your brain of, like, what's a movie I could watch if I need to cry? Like, if there's something in my eyeball, and I gotta cry. I might add this movie to that list.
Really? movie.
Yeah. What about you, Bridge? Watch or don't watch?
Definitely watch, but no, it was made in 2001.
I think you will know pretty quickly it was made in 2001.
Yeah, because there definitely is some scenes that you're like, oh boy, we could go past this. This would be a really cool movie to redo.
Yeah.
Because everyone, like, I feel like dancing now, like, we're ready for some dance movies. Because there was that point in time, it was like, this movie, the Step It Up series, Center Stage, like,
Stomp the Yard.
Stomp the Yard.
Amazing.
All these amazing
The
dance
best.
movies. And I want them back. I want them back. I loved it.
All right.
I loved it.
So we're putting that out in the universe. More dance movies, please.
Okay, well, you have now one movie that makes you cry on your list when you need to get those tears out. And I got the next movie pick for you, but I don't know. Will this make you cry? I don't know.
Okay. I hope not. I don't like to cry a lot, but...
I don't think so at all. But who the frick knows? So first of all, Kate, I have to just commend you for picking this movie because it made me so happy. Save the Last Dance. Thank you for this.
Woo!
And I hope that this movie makes you as happy as Save the Last Dance made me.
Oh.
It is from 2003.
Oh.
There is a series, okay?
Okay.
We have done a movie with this director before.
Okay.
It is action. And there is a female lead.
Ooh, girl.
Okay.
It's not Wonder Woman, tell you that.
It is, I think this might slightly give it away, but it is classified as a martial arts film.
Yeah! Oh. I was like, I don't know that song, but now I know that song.
The one and only Kill Bill Volume 1.
Woo! The best one. That's the best one. Uma Thurman. Yes.
Does this make you cry? No. This doesn't make you cry. But it is kind of like her whole revenge, right? Is like, I was kind of sad.
I don't cry at it, but
Okay.
I watched this movie with you in the basement for the first time. I have a memory of that, yeah.
Oh my god, I felt bad I don't remember this. I'm so sorry.
I mean, I was probably like way younger than, I don't know. You'd
was
probably
this
seen it a bunch of
inappropriate
times.
for you to watch? And I'm like, Kate, come watch a movie
No,
with me.
it's so good. Oh, I love it. And Volume 1 is so fun. It's just really fun. Oh my god, the whole time they're in Japan. Oh my god, I can't. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, this is a good one with like a great cast.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Oh boy, we're going back to Quentin. Take a sip every time there's a foot shot.
Oh,
there will be
Kate.
some. There are some in this
There are
movie.
some. I can already think of them. Kate.
Volume 1 and Volume 2, there's some.
Yep. But Kate,
Bridge,
if you happen to move to the south side of Chicago to go to a school with all black people,
yeah,
and you started dating someone who I thought was lovely, like supported you, had the same interests as you, teaching you hip hop dance moves, but then you started changing your hairstyle to be braids, I'd make sure to help you not continue that.
Wow. Thanks, Bridge.
You're welcome.
I mean, I love braids, but not like, more than 2. So 2's the max for me. But
yeah.
Oh boy. Well, and Bridge.
Yeah.
I just want to say, if the next time I go visit and you are in a dancing mood, I will go find Snooks. Well, actually, I don't need to find him because we don't need fake IDs, but maybe I'll just find him for fun and I will take you to Steps and we will...
It's in Chicago, right?
Dance. I mean, I don't know if that's a real place, but yeah, we'll go there. Woo!
Oh my god, I dream of that, Kate.
Okay, just don't wear like boots or a heavy winter coat. Remember the rules. Okay, that's all I
bring
ask.
a Gap t-shirt to wrap around your head.
And the hoops, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't.
Yeah.
Hoops.
And,
yeah.
well,
Wow.
listeners, if you also like to go to the club, and if you think that too many braids is too many, what? I don't know how many that is. And butterfly clips should stay dead for people over 10. You should write us a review.
Hey!
We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. If you scroll scroll down on the main page, there's a form you can fill out to request a movie. So if you're like, guys, there's just more dance out there. I want to dance. Well, don't worry, because you can request that on that page. And Bridge, what else can they do on the website?
They can buy us fake IDs.
Snuffs, yeah, support a small business.
Just kidding, we're too old. We don't need them.
Oh, darn.
You can buy us coffee. There's a Ko-Fi site, and I know that some others in the past have put some money there, requested a movie. We super appreciate it, and yeah, just lets us know we're on the right track. And I mean, if you're dancing to this soundtrack and you're like, wow, thank you, sisters who've seen it, there you go. Go to the Ko-Fi site.
You got a $50 bill, put your hand up. You got a $100 bill, put your hands up. Make noise.
What's your zodiac sign? What's your zodiac sign? I was like, oh God, it's so good.
I love it. That's the best song. Oh my God.
And that song is timeless because at any club, in any place, everyone loses it.
If you got long hair, make noise. It's amazing. Amazing. All right, listeners. Well, check all that out, and we hope to hear from you.
Well, as Chenille would say, slammin'.
Slammin'. Holla, holla, holla. Slammin'. All right.
Love you.
Well,
love you all. Dance it out.
We'll see y'all next week for Kill Bill Volume 1. Woo! I'm ready.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswho'veseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.